We're also going to do a home birth, so that we'll see how that goes.
Oh, really?
It's a little different this time.
Rivers your first?
Rivers hospital, because I was like, I'm not going to take any chance.
Okay.
And then I was like, as long as baby's healthy and we can do it, we'll try to raw dog it and see how it goes. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have
Do you have a medulla oblongata?
Oh my God, I was just going to say the same thing. Maury, no.
Medulla oblongata?
I was going to say the exact same thing. Please stop. No.
Wow, you guys.
I think it's the first time I've ever said that too.
It's literally going to be like, wait, do you have a medulla oblongata? I literally was going to say that, and you stole it. You went in my brain. She's like implanted inside of me.
Yeah. Forever.
Every
So before I was pregnant,
I remember
30,
you
I
were
think
pregnant, but I
they
just
say
don't remember you
220 pounds at 9 months pregnant.
And now where are you? Sorry, if you didn't want to share.
130. So my
Literally,
dad,
20 pounds of it's like baby, because you're not thinking about like the water, the uterus, the baby itself.
That's a lot, though. 220. My dad's 220.
That means you're enjoying pregnancy.
That's a big girl, yeah. But my body didn't want anything healthy at all. Like I did not crave salads. I craved sandwiches, turkey, boar's head sandwiches.
With my first, I went to Chick-fil-A every day and got a ice cream cone.
Yeah,
I was like,
every day, right?
This baby wants spicy and salty.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah.
See, I wanted my first trimester every day, like every meal, I wanted something decadent. I ordered everything Postmates my first.
That's how
trimester.
Was it River?
Bougie trimester.
I know. I was like, I don't care. I don't want to make anything. I don't want a leftover. I don't want anything like that. And then my blood pressure was a little high, so I've completely.
So you're like, okay, body, we're not going to do this.
So now I've completely flipped it around, and I've been eating really, really clean, and I feel so much better, and my blood pressure's very low now, and it's fine. Not very low, but it's like normal now. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
You're feeling so much better. This is really exciting. But what's also really exciting is that we have an awesome guest over here right now.
Yeah,
look at this.
Yeah,
very
I tried to be a little bit, kicks. I tried to be like,
That's so cool.
But then I was like, it's cold and I'm tired and I'm 2 weeks away.
37 weeks pregnant,
37
bro.
weeks pregnant.
37.
A bad bitch, a mother of one. You also have a podcast.
I do have a podcast.
Brittainy
Mine's
Taylor,
a little bit more
ladies and
crazy.
gentlemen.
Brittainy
Taylor.
Mine's a little bit more serious. That's why I was like, oh, I want to do this. This is fun.
Are you serious?
We just got done doing it. I literally left from there to here.
Seriously silly. There's nothing serious about our podcast.
Which is so nice, because who likes it,
It is fun.
That's what I learned about birth. That you have a better birth if you can laugh through it, because you can't have two sphincters like tightened up. So when you laugh, it opens your sphincters.
Hold on.
So everything's about
Rewind.
sphincters, which literally there's no, like, welcome to absolutely no care with all in birth, and like just be naked and do whatever. But they say, like, you know how like when you're stressed, everything tightens up?
Yeah.
Are you
so
saying
if you laugh
sphincter?
or you cry, sphincter. Yeah, it loosens your sphincters and it helps the birthing process. So if you can get someone to make you laugh the whole time, like, you'll have a great birth.
Well, she's got her boyfriend's a comedian.
There you go.
I should have to do it. Like, write me a routine. Write me a bit. Just for birth.
Yeah.
Just for my
birth
sphincter.
bit. Just do a birth
sphincter.
The birth bit.
And the baby sphincter.
And the baby sphincter. Yeah.
Our sphincters.
Our sphincters.
Your sphincter routine.
It's such a funny word, isn't it?
It's one of my favorite words.
Yeah.
It's like, my sphincter
just
tightened up.
We did a birth class, and they were like, so when you're tightened up, all your sphincters are tight, and they're like, try to cry and try to laugh.
Why are there multiple sphincters?
Yeah, I thought there was only one sphincter.
Well, you have that sphincter, and then you have.
Your pussy hole is a sphincter?
Yeah, but like if you think about like holding, there's like different places in which like.
Okay, so sphincter is technically just like a hole.
Like a tightened muscle, like something that's like
You're a professional as far as babies now.
No,
huh? You're like know a lot.
I know nothing.
I have a child and I don't know shit.
Yeah. I learned a lot more second baby, because I was like, first baby I got pregnant, I was like, oh, I'm a pregnant mom. I'm gonna go look at all these products and be like whatever. And I looked back at my Instagram. I'm like, you are fucking annoying. Like, because you think, second time around, I'm like, let me just ask questions and chill out. And it's been so much nicer this time to be like, okay, cool. I know absolutely nothing and I'm learning everything.
See, that's how I was. People, have so many questions for me. They're like, all right, do you remember blah, blah, blah when you were pregnant? I'm like, no.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. They're like, she goes, who was your doctor? 2 weeks ago, she goes.
Wait, have you gone to a doctor yet?
I said Dr. Black Woman. I don't remember her name. what was your plan? I was like, I had no plan.
I blacked out.
I had
blacked
no
out.
plan.
Literally,
I didn't know.
I made a whole plan, and then I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Just get it
Just
out.
get it out.
I think that's
get
what
my
happens
baby
with a
out
lot of
healthy.
people. I don't have. I'm going to Vanderbilt, which is a
Great.
collective.
It's a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a collective hospital, so you see a gyno until your baby is born.
And I didn't realize that, so I went to Centennial, and I remember asking my OB. I was like, okay, so I'll see you. And she's like, no.
Whoever's on call.
Who's ever
will be
on call?
birthing
Yeah.
you.
Well, she's like,
And I was like, what?
She's like, I don't know. It's like a different person that does my sonogram every time. And I go, yeah, bro. Yes. You're never going to get the same person. That's not how it works.
No, it's like because everybody's got. It's just a shift.
Yeah, it's
like
shift.
going to a shift.
You're never going to get the same person.
Which is
like
so
it.
then you get. That's why I
it.
think that's why as a mom you get really like, okay, whatever. Like first time around, like I was like kind of like, oh, you know, like I don't want to toot or do anything. Now I'm like, let it all out.
Yeah.
I'm naked, whatever. Because you just meet so many people, you get like humbled by it. You're like, everybody's seen me naked at this point.
Yeah.
In my most uncomfortable. Like today I have to go.
Split
I have to go do my Strep B swab. So like I'm like, someone's gonna swab my asshole today.
Wait, what? What do they do? What do they do to your butthole?
So it's the strep, group strep or Strep B to make sure you don't have that like bacteria.
I don't remember that. Does everyone get?
You did it at the
I got
very
swabbed
end.
and I don't even remember.
You did it at the very end.
I got my butthole swabbed and I don't even remember.
It wasn't in a very soft swab then.
It must have been.
In your sphincter.
Yeah. I got fisted when I was dilating.
Oh yeah.
because
Oh, and they're like in there like this, like just swooping away.
Dude,
at the
that is the
baby.
worst. Because they induced me at 37 weeks because Charlie wouldn't go and she was getting bigger. She was almost 9 pounds at 37 weeks.
Holy
She's
shit.
big girl, big baby.
Big baby.
Big baby.
I was 10'4", and then her baby daddy is 6'4", and he's
okay.
just
So
a
you
big
had
dude.
you had a tall baby.
Yeah. So every time they came in to fist me to see how far. Yes, that's correct. That's what they do.
It goes all in. I mean, you're
all in.
full. You literally have a whole size of a donut.
Yeah, I said I need an epidural because this is the worst pain I've ever experienced in my life. And
They
then
didn't
they
ask you
came.
before that
They
for
came
the
to do it
epidural?
again. She came with her fist towards me, and I said no.
Listen, fist fuck. Don't.
Fristy Fran, Fisty Fran,
Frisky Fran.
yeah,
Hold on a
frisky,
sec.
fisty
Yeah,
Fran.
you back your fist up. You wait. You give me drugs, girl. You don't just get to fist me.
The funniest part about it is that like they do it so much. I mean, they're L&D nurses. She must have had 4 or 5 other births. So like to her, it's nothing. Like she does hundreds of births a day, and she's like, okay, I gotta get in there.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait a minute, get me dinner first.
Get me dinner first.
Could you say hello?
I know.
What's
she
your
was like,
name?
do you even think I'm pretty?
Is it really
are
Fran?
you okay?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Also,
It gets a little wild in there.
hurts.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
Very
good.
badly.
They didn't
Let me
ask
know.
you before, like, would you like an epidural?
You can have that in your birth
I
plan.
was going to eventually have an epidural. I didn't know how bad the fisting was going to hurt.
Yeah. Well, and there's a timing because you can't get it too early and you can't get it too late.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And I don't think the technical term is we're gonna fist you right now.
Yeah.
It's like
No,
we're just
they're
gonna,
it's a-
dilating you.
Yeah.
It's
We're
a
massaging your
cervix check.
vaginal wall.
They're checking you.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. But meanwhile, everything's like pulsating. The baby's trying to push out. You're expanding. So like it just doesn't
Wait,
feel
so
great.
why did they even you hadn't had a
And well, I
having
had a C-section anyway.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
because she
They
wasn't
did all
going.
that
She was
for
chilling.
nothing.
She wasn't going anywhere. How old's your first?
She's gonna be 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that age. Is my favorite.
do you know the gender
little
of this
3-year-olds.
We decided.
fun.
Yeah, a couple of my girlfriends have done like the weight, and she convinced me because she was like, there are very few surprises in life, and if this is because we don't know if this is last baby, it's probably gonna be last baby.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
Choose
well, might as well
school.
just do it. Yeah. We're also gonna do a home birth, so then we'll see how that goes.
Oh, really?
It's a little different this time.
Rivers,
Yeah.
your first.
Rivers Hospital because I was like, I'm not going to take any chance.
Okay.
And then I was like, as long as baby's healthy and we can do it, we'll try to raw dog it and see how it goes. So,
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you have
Do you have a medulla oblongata?
Oh my
have a
God, I
doula?
was just gonna say the same thing. Mari, no.
A doula
I
oblongata?
was gonna say the exact same thing. Please stop. No.
Wow, you guys.
I think it's the first time I've ever said that too.
It's literally gonna be like, wait, do you have a doula oblongata? I literally was gonna say that, and you stole it. You went in my brain. She's like implanted inside of me,
Yeah.
in
Forever.
every fiber of my being.
You're sharing DNA at this point.
I know. Anywho, do you?
Yeah, I did a doula and a midwife this time instead of
Okay,
traditional way.
so okay, great.
That way I
What's
have
the
the
difference?
medical. Of a doula and a midwife?
Yeah.
Medical training. So a doula technically is somebody that's there for mom. I came from, my family is so far away. I didn't have any support. And so I was scared to death. So this person is like making sure mom's taken care of. Like, is everybody listening to mom? Is dad where he needs to be? Or, you know, parent where they need to be?
Yeah.
Like, is the doctor listening, advocating? Because there's a lot of, especially in, you know, certain minority groups, a lot of women are either talked down to or completely dismissed. And so the doula's role really came in because in the throes of labor, you're not advocating for yourself. You're just like, I don't give a fuck, you know? And so that person's like, wait a minute, she said she didn't want that. Like, that's the person that I needed to talk for me in case, you know, dad kind of clammed up a little bit, which is normal.
Yeah.
So I wanted that. And plus, postpartum doula is great because they come in and they just give you that big hug that you kind of need at the end. Like psychologically of like, are you okay? Do you need, hey, I'm going to hold the baby while you go take a shower.
Yeah.
Kind of stuff. And so it was worth.
That's not a night nurse.
It can be a night nurse, but a doula is much more like.
And there's such like calm, beautiful energies too.
Yeah, Mari gave me this woman named Melissa.
Who's just
a doula,
such a doula, because they're such a specific person.
Yes,
beautiful,
you were born to do that.
Yes, 100%. But she also said that having a woman in the room with you does something energetically or something.
It's almost like it brings back like a cultural experience of like supporting mom. Like you're specifically supporting mom.
She's like, even just having a woman, a female in the room, even if she's just sitting in a corner, I don't know the science behind it. I forgot like, what she told me, but you should ask her because it was really interesting. And
it's like basically renting a grandma because they have grandma spirit.
That's okay.
Yeah.
You had your assholes.
Yeah. But yeah, it's basically like, you know, you have a grandma. You have a badass grandma in the room.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
40.
Who's 40. Right, but has that like energy, you know?
It's the same kind of energy. It's that very beautiful, calm, peaceful.
Yeah.
And they're so knowledgeable.
Some people love having like their, like I did not have the relationship with my mom where I was like, I would want my mom to see me in that capacity. So this was like renting a mom because like I don't have that like, I got to be strong for my mom, or I'm worried that my mom's gonna be worried. So it's like having that extra woman of like just motherly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Also, that's a really good like business idea. Rent a mom.
Because rent a mom. Yeah. Can you make me cookies, please? Sometimes I do.
That's so cute.
I'm here for the graduation.
My mom's a piece of shit. I don't talk to her ever. I'd like
so I rented one.
So I rented one.
So I rented it, Deborah.
Yeah.
And she came to my graduation.
Yeah.
She came to my wedding.
My insurance paid for my second mom.
Yeah.
You know?
Is this mom covered by insurance?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's
and then
so
midwife is like kind of the alternative. I hate to say it like that, but it's like an OB, and that
they deliver.
They deliver, but they also have more medical background.
So you have your doctor and your midwife.
Yep,
delivering
some
for
people,
you.
Yeah, some people do that. So I chose not to do the doctor route, and I went the midwifery route, which is more like, it's more like culturally woman focused than OB. I loved my OB, but I think this round I wanted something more holistic.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. God, there's just so
many choices.
Much.
Yeah.
There's so many choices. There's so many things.
Yeah. Yep.
And you have a backup plan, right? In case, like if anything.
Yeah, that's all the whole board. So if this is happening, we go here. If this is happening, we go here. And yeah, so right now we're just literally have fairy lights all around my room and just getting it ready for.
Are you going to be
putting in a pool? Water? We have the pool. We have the bed.
What's the temperature?
It's hot. It's hot enough to kill bacteria.
Smart.
That's what I was told.
How do they keep it?
98.
They basically like it's literally like old school. Like they boil water, or they just keep keeping the temperature hot. So like
even if it takes you 24 hours.
Yep.
Wow, they just keep boiling the water.
Yep, and they'll take you out. So really, like a lot of people labor, but they don't birth. So they'll labor and then birth in the bed or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, but the idea of being in water, and your hospital will have it too. Like if you can move around and you put yourself in water, your body relaxes, and so it helps the laboring process.
See, that's what I'm like.
Because cold, and they say the same thing. Like even if you don't use water, like bring shit that will make you calm, whether it's smells or lights. Like the way that
maybe I won't bring my mother.
Yeah, right.
Right.
It didn't make me. They say it's all about oxytocin, right? They're like. Because like you think about like the hospital lights are like literally the way that my doula said, she goes,
I need to try not to mother for my birth. Sorry.
No, I have one.
Went to birth
She
mom.
stresses me out. She elevates my blood pressure.
Yeah, so maybe not because you're
We're going to send you a list of anywhere from 5 to 10 mothers that you can rent for this that we think would be perfect.
She bakes. She bakes, and she bakes gluten-free.
See, and you can bring them in here and just do like an interview process.
Yeah.
That's a funny skit.
That's a funny skit.
That's a funny
My mind's
skit.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my God.
But yeah, they say basically the doula was like, don't try not to give birth in any environment that you wouldn't have sex in. Because it's basically the same thing, an intimate setting. So if you think about hospital lights, you're like, oh, so bring some lighting in.
Oh, okay, I was like, I don't think I'd fuck in a hospital, but
no, yeah.
here we are.
Yeah.
Wow,
But just like making it more cozy, like bring your own.
What are the chances we could rent out Disney?
Yeah.
For
You're like in the castle. Can I give birth in the freaking castle? I would like the West Wing.
What about there's a place called the Poconos in Pennsylvania.
Yes. I'm a PA.
Oh, yeah. Do you remember the champagne glass hot tubs? Sick. Real sexy.
Why can I imagine you doing that?
Like champagne.
With your leg all up and you're like,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wild.
Oh, Charlie was just C-sectioned out with like gnarly hospital lights.
And sometimes, but sometimes you have to go through that route because it's the safest route, right? So like,
well, there was no option. That
baby wasn't coming out any other way.
Like, we have to see where we're cutting.
Yeah.
Turn the lights.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I guess.
But bring things from home, or like if you love like the lipstick, like if you like bread.
I did. I sang Silent Night.
You did?
As they were cutting.
She was fucked
her out of
up
me. Yeah, I was just like, and it was Christmas time.
I love that.
Like Silent Night, and I remember your nurses going, "She's singing. She's singing.
She sure is. Keep going.
Let her have it.
Worry about your own songs.
Yeah, you worry about the organs in there.
Yeah.
Make sure everything goes back right.
Fucked up.
Did you think about it? Because I think about
that. Afterwards.
When they go through 7 layers to get through all of that, right? To get the baby out of your uterus, and you're like,
but they
Brittainy, have you ever watched it?
They're
but they
moving
don't
around.
always have to take your
and you feel
organs
nothing.
out.
Nothing.
You feel nothing.
Nothing.
But they do have to move them around.
Did you ever watch it?
I watched
What
it.
do you mean?
I watched it.
Your own?
No,
Oh,
I
was
watched
They give you a video?
surgery procedure like maybe a year after.
Oh.
I was like, I'm ready to see what they did.
What happened? Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's
you know what they do, right?
They move things around to take the baby out.
Yeah,
they don't just move it around. They take organs out and put them on a table.
Well, I read that they don't always have to do that.
Well, that's what I saw.
It to you?
I believe so. I think Tim said that he saw a couple organs on the
table. How did he have sex with you after that? That's crazy.
Took a long time.
Yeah, well, apparently
apparently
people offer C-sections because of sex after, because they don't see that part, but like sex after a vaginal birth is just as like, I mean, if somebody sees a bowling ball coming out of your vagina, that's a little scary too,
Well, that's got to be harder because that's your vagina. So you're like,
or if you tear.
For me, it's painful because we're just like the healing is gnarly, but I'm fine after. I feel nothing there. Like, for you guys,
I wanted nothing to touch me for 10 weeks.
Yeah, right?
Well, no, thank you.
Yeah, who wants to have sex?
A man would want to have sex.
No,
after.
right, but like, I mean, who with a vagina?
He's like, I just put a baby in you. Let's try again. Cool. I'm like, you touch me, and I'm going to kick your balls so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way. No, bye. Bye. I rented. Oh my God! I rented a wife for you. Yeah, it's on the same site that you can rent a mom. I rented you a wife.
You're so happy.
Blow you, so you can shut the fuck up.
Women are we're amazing.
We are
wild.
Do you have those little apps where you're like looking at like each week and stuff?
Oh, you need those.
I know, it's weird. I went to go get my hair done, and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, do you know what you're having?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm having a boy." And she's like, "Oh, you're just like so chill about everything." I'm like,
what else can you do?
Yeah. She's like, just some people are just so like just like, no, I'm just chill.
That's how I was. I was calm. You're calm.
Like, should I be different?
No, you should be exactly like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I posted one thing. There's a movie called Night Bitch with Amy Adams, and it's weird, but it's about a woman who is an artist or was an artist, and she had a baby. And her husband decided to be the breadwinner, so she could stay home. So she could stay
home
with the baby the first year or two, and she loses herself and like it's this, and she hates all the moms that she goes to like these kids things, and I'm like, this is very relatable. I'm sure to so many people. And when she kind of finds herself again, she goes to this class where all these women, she was like judging them, and she was like, whatever, but there's this crazy speech that she gives, and she's like, do you ever just realize that we are God, and that like what we do is the crazy shit, and that like just this whole,
and men are terrified of us.
So anyway, yes, but I posted it, and I was like, me 3 months into it, like just like, I'm God, like who would I do? I have a penis inside of me.
You literally have a portal that like brings life into the world.
It's crazy. Like what? I have a little spine inside there. Anyway, and some of my friends are like, oh my God, do I have to like unfollow you? Blah, blah. I'm like, what?
What does that mean?
Post anything about it?
Oh yeah,
like whatever. Like
people get weird about like. I mean, I had a lot of unfollows
about pregnancy stuff. Yeah, I'm like,
I was a little,
like,
I was a little annoying, but just because
I
didn't know anything. I mean, my whole life has changed. I have a podcast about motherhood. It definitely made me different.
It changes you.
Yeah, it has to.
How does it? If it doesn't, what something? Are you okay? Like something is major is happening in your life.
Yeah,
like I think we all change.
Well, then it doesn't stop changing. It like you have somebody that relies on you all the time forever.
Right.
Forever.
One of my friends, TK McKimmey, who does all the
love him.
When I first became he was like something about like when we're in our 20s and 30s and living life, he's like, no one realizes like it's very selfish. Like we could just get up and go do whatever. And now you have this like little person that's like, wait a minute, you can't throw me in a kennel and run around. Like, you can't put a baby in a kennel like you do a dog, right?
No.
And so you like your whole world is like, when do I have sitters, or when does life go this, or how do I get back to work, or how? And so you have to lose yourself a little bit and change yourself a little bit. Nothing's going to be the same because you have a human being. You're in charge of a human being.
Yeah.
That is wild.
And and it's like okay to be like, this is fucking a lot.
This
is really hard. Like after I had Charlie, there were moments where I would come to her house and I would tell Tim, I'm going out for a pack of cigarettes and I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
What did I just do?
I'm laughing.
Because of that. Because also
dark.
I had her at 37, which is older. I mean, you're going to be 40.
Yeah, I'll be 30. I'll be 36.
Yeah. So you spend your whole life being selfish and doing whatever you want and just leaving your house and putting a jacket on and going to a bar and doing this and that. And all of a sudden one day you can't.
You can't. Yeah.
And it's not like an overnight thing for some people where they go, okay, that's fine. This is it. I'm happy being here. It's a really hard thing to process.
Yeah, I was the first one in my friend group to have babies in like this setting.
Oh, okay.
Not like at home, but like in our we call them dinks, dual income, no kids.
What do you call them?
Dinks. So even in my neighborhood, we were all dinks. So I was the first one in my neighborhood and the first one in my friend group to get pregnant. And so watching everybody be like going to the bars or going on trips, like that was hard.
Yeah, I think you had a hard time with that.
That's exactly what
and not
happened
because
to
I
me.
regretted it or like, it's just because like, well, one, I could go, but that would require so much effort. And two, it's financially fucked.
Yeah.
To bring, even like to go on trips, I have to pay for a second person who doesn't pay for themselves, you know? Like, so everything's double the work. So you're just like, fuck, man, I gotta rethink my life here.
Yeah.
But
everything changes.
And sometimes it's hard. It's allowed to be hard. I think it's allowed. And I think people get upset because they're like, you're either supposed to be this like, oh my God, I love being a mom. It's the best thing in the world, which I do love. Or you're like an absent mother and that's it. There's no in between of like that mom being like, shit.
There absolutely should be. And that's how honest I am.
Yeah.
Like I always say, I can't imagine my life without my daughter. I love her. She's my person. She's 8 years old. She's my best friend. I love her so much.
Do I think about when I lived on an island by myself and smoked weed with Rastafarians?
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yes,
I do. Yes, I do.
Did you actually do that?
Yeah, I lived in St. Thomas for like 2 years.
Okay, we'll dive into that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we will get into that. But also, Brittainy, I'm newly separated. So now I have half custody. So I do 50-50. So it's
divorce isn't awful,
So divorce isn't awful, people.
Right.
It took a while to get here, almost a year, because that's really weird. Imagine.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think for me, separation would be, I'd have to, my worry would be having to trust the other person because I'm such a type A person about like, what my kid does, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta let you do your thing.
I know,
luckily, we're both.
Well, luckily,
that's
he's a great dad.
Yeah, and both on the same page as far as parenting. I think that we do it pretty well. We always have. So, but now having that like every other week to myself, I'm like,
you're like,
I love my daughter so much, but then I'm like, all right,
see you in a week, bitch.
Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Bye. That's kind of nice. You get to poop by yourself. That's kind of nice.
Yeah. She's always there. Why are they always there?
I'm like,
it doesn't matter.
I'm like, does the smell not offend you? Like,
8 years
mine
later,
will sit on my lap. I'm like, hey, can you let me go? No, mommy. No, mommy.
So funny.
8 years later,
and
you're still there.
Hanging out with my parents while they pooped, but I don't remember much.
Pooping with parents.
You did.
I probably did. I'm a codependent.
Yeah,
I probably did. But I will say that's what I really like about your podcast is that you are honest and you do bring up like, I just think things that more people relate to that don't talk about.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm always been, I'm the Aquarius. I tell everybody all the time. It's just Aquarius season is upon us. But I'm go with the flow. And I'm like, look, we're not going to always get it right. And I'm going to learn something tomorrow that I didn't know yesterday. And that doesn't make me good, bad, or indifferent. And I just don't like that I sat around listening to like, you have to do this. And this is your baby's going to react. Because, we were talking about sleeping today on our podcast. And I was like, my baby slept through the night so long as I was holding her. And for me, that was okay. For some people, you want to sleep train. That's great. Yeah. But like, there's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
And we all just got to chill out. As long as you love your kid and you do your best,
dude,
nothing else matters.
It's with everything too. It's literally what works for you.
Right.
Like there is no right or wrong.
No.
It's as long as you're not hurting your child, as long as you're protecting your child, you're loving your child,
let's be honest, no matter what you're
doing a great job.
Fuck your child up.
Yeah, you're gonna.
Somebody told me so long time.
I always say that.
There's one thing you will do that will put your kid in therapy.
Yeah,
and you're gonna have no control over
100%.
Whether you're like, I gave them a banana that one day, and 100%. They wanted a fucking orange, and now they hate me, and they remember it for the rest of their. Because my mom will be like, my mom laughs at me. She's like, you're bringing up stuff that happened when you were 16. I'm like, because it affected me, But that's it.
Because
you're gonna do something that they're gonna be like, man, my mom was great, but then she wouldn't let me sleep in my PJs for 4 nights, so I hate her. Like it's just the way that it goes.
They're also humans that were trying their best, and like all we can do is either break generational trauma and do it differently. Or some of us end up exactly like our parents. I have no idea.
Yeah, but you're never going to break it fully. Like, it's not, I could do all the work on myself, but I still find things that I repeat at my parents on Charlie. And I'm like, I don't know if that's ever going to go away. Like,
sorry, kid.
She's going to take that with her. 100%. And I'm sorry.
And it's almost because we live in the age of the internet. There's just so much out there that it's almost more overwhelming, I think, than if we were like 80s moms,
Yeah.
Because like people are like, oh, you remember in the 80s when they had to like put those messages out there of like, do you know where your kids are? And I was like, I honestly, what would that feel like?
How did we not
what would that feel like to tell your kids?
How are we still alive? How are we still alive?
The 80s were wild. Predators were everywhere.
Parents didn't care.
They coached us. They were our coaches. They were our teachers. They were our friends' dads. They were everywhere. How did we not die?
I had my mom. I'm not gonna do sleepovers anymore. My mom's like, why? I'm like, well, because when I did sleepovers, we went to the nearest park and drank like malt liquor until one of us had to go get our stomach pumped.
Yeah, Night Train.
Yeah.
We used to sneak out. We used to sneak out at Deborah Fontana, Catamaran, Bunsen Uri's.
Catamaran, yeah. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, getting cars at 15 years old.
Yeah.
Fast cars.
I hitchhiked at 12. I ran away from home and I got in a car of an 18-wheeler.
Where'd you go, Brittany?
I almost to Arizona.
You hitchhiked?
From Philly, almost. Oh, yeah. My mom found me somehow back then without Instagram, without a phone to know where. Somehow she found me, grabbed me by my hair, threw me back in the car.
Yeah, you deserved it.
Yeah, I did. I did.
You deserved
from Philly to almost Arizona. I was in a train in Washington.
It's okay. She's found.
She doesn't seem like that type. I'm like very shocked right now.
I just told you I broke up with a boyfriend and moved to an island. What do you mean? I like jumped out of airplanes. I was crazy. I was wild. I had daddy issues. So I just used all of that to my
Is that what makes you jump out of airplanes?
Yeah.
Daddy issues?
Because you're like, fuck it.
Interesting.
Do whatever.
Tell me about St. Thomas.
St. Thomas. So I graduated from college. I had a company with a boyfriend called College Mansion, which was it was basically like a party website. So we would find the hottest girls by school, by class, and by state, and we would make these huge parties. Yeah. And then
so Girls Gone Wild before Girls Gone Wild.
after Girls Gone Wild.
After Girls
But
Gone
like
Wild.
it was like Girls Gone Wild, but like Hooters girls. Like they were like tame wild.
Okay.
Tame Wild.
Tame wild. Like we would have like
of age.
Wild.
Of age.
age
Yeah.
appropriate,
Okay.
and like we had like they were dressed up. There was like fashion.
Okay. Got it.
Hot college girls with fashion sense.
Got it. Sign me
No
up. Let's
boobies.
go.
No boobies.
No
Sometimes.
Okay.
Not all the time.
How do you can't get in a
You
drunk
can't prevent-
girl's way from showing her
Yeah.
tits. You can't. Sphincter dincter.
Sphincters?
You can't. If somebody wants to show you their butthole, they're going to if they're drunk.
I mean, yeah.
Okay, so you
Does it
So
look like these
we
are my
had this
tits?
company, and then we broke
Does it look like
up.
these are my new tits?
she's getting her tits done tomorrow.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
This big.
You know that one porn star that has like really big boobs?
So
That's
cold
the
in here.
mood.
Yeah, that's the mood.
That's the
I mean,
vibe.
like think about Bunny's my new like ultimate.
She's hot.
Like yeah, like that. Her.
she's so
She's
like
hot.
hot.
that
She's
yeah.
hot. Her body's banging.
And
I know.
she's
she
just
needs
so
to
she's
post her
so
workout
calm.
routine.
Yeah,
wanna know
her
what she
abs
does.
are great.
She's
got, like,
just
She's
Yeah.
yeah. She's an
hot.
icon.
She's
Like,
hot.
yeah.
an icon.
Yeah.
and seems like a very
And she
cool
has like the
person.
calm, like Dolly Parton energy, but
Yeah.
like hot ass. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Yeah.
I imagine that's how people felt about Dolly at that like
Yeah.
her era at that era.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I
was
know
like,
it's so hot. I even love her story. I love the hooking
Yeah.
or the sex work. I love all of it.
yeah.
I
Was
love-
she? Is
yeah.
that-
I
Because
love all
that's
of
I
it.
mean, is that
That's
not
how she like took care of Jelly and his child. Is sex work.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
And then she just made tons of money because she's so hot and then was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do it anymore. Like I love that
Right.
too.
Right.
maybe
I
I'll
love
get
all-
into sex work.
But she also doesn't
You
hide that,
might.
and I think that that's what's cool and important about that is like, I was a Hooters. I was actually in the Hooters Hall of Fame, and I hid that for a very long time because the guy that I dated.
Enter photo of Brittainy right
I'll
here.
send it to you. But
Yes.
but I traveled all around the world with like the Hooters crew. But when I got to Nashville, because I thought Nashville was like very, I don't know, the guy I dated at the time was very conservative and Christian, whatever, and like was like, oh, I can't believe you did that. So I never told anybody. And now I'm
God,
like,
it's
shit, I should have gone the
Hooters.
buddy round and been like, but I did this. Fuck it. I have nude photos on the internet from an ex-boyfriend. Like
I know.
And you're like,
fine.
look at my
Nobody-
body.
I know,
Like,
look
look
at
at
me.
me. Look how
Yeah.
hot I am.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
nobody knew that like things were going to be so acceptable. You
right,
know
because
what I
back
mean?
then, if you had things like that came out of the closet, that was like
Like a
disaster for your career.
destroyer.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
and now we're like,
And now it's a
"Ah."
No.
career booster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, she has an OnlyFans?
Yeah.
Cool. We love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The most
Yeah.
famous girl in the world is the one that wouldn't she like have 1,000 people in one day? That was like the whole thing a couple weeks ago.
I just saw that. I
Who?
read it. I think it was like
Some model on
1,022. She banged. That's how many guys she banged in one day.
Oh,
and it went like
right.
super viral, and
Oh,
you're like,
great. Good for her.
wait,
Yeah.
she's made a million,
How,
and
though?
now she's a millionaire.
And now she's a billionaire.
Yeah,
1,000 people one day.
They like she
Millionaire.
just like laid there and just like
she wasn't very happy about it at the end, but she did it for science.
Listen,
Documentary.
for science, anything
Oh,
for
for sci-
science.
for science. What science though?
Well,
Maybe
just to know if you
what
could
is-
take it.
Like
If the human
the
body
science?
if the human body was able to take it.
so is
If
it?
anything, yes.
she did.
took it.
She definitely the light bulb went out for a second. She definitely lost mental. She probably had some like mental things she had to work through.
How
some
do you
trauma.
not?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's just
Also
a line.
physically.
Well, physically, I'm surprised, but
Wait, she
lined up, signed up.
Lined up,
and-
signed up.
so obviously like they
They
got
had 15-minute
tested
runs.
and they did
Yep, yep.
15-minute.
15 minutes around, and they have a documentary on.
15 minutes.
That's
15
too
minutes.
much time.
How much?
Okay, maybe it was 5. I don't know. It was enough. They all had to.
What's the math on
There were
that?
criterias. I just don't know what they were.
Wow, and,
Do you have your
and
phone? Do
No.
15 times 1,000. Can anyone
that's
do that in their head?
150,000.
How many minutes are in a day? I gotta look this up. But anyway, she did it. She beat
Did you
the
say
world record.
150,000?
Well, 15 times 1,000, you just carry the zeros.
Oh, you're Rain Manning right now. I thought you were mathematically dyslexic.
No, I am dyslexic, but you just
Okay,
carry the
yeah.
the zeros.
Oh, all right. God.
You just
That's
add the
how bad I am.
zeros, babe.
So that's how many hours.
But I'm saying like now she's a millionaire. She's probably gonna end up on all the red carpets. And you're like, okay, cool.
And she doesn't have to have sex ever again if she doesn't want to.
Nope, she doesn't. She doesn't. But my point is like, man, I was like ashamed to be a Hooters girl. And then you have like people out there that are like, you know, what happens when you reclaim that power? When you're like, you know what, I did it. Who cares? Whatever. And like life opens up.
Here's
look
the
at
thing,
like
though,
Sasha
and I'm
Grey
not judging that at all.
No.
But there's also levels of like integrity that you have to stand behind. Like, you know, you have to be able to really truly not give a shit about what your family thinks or what your friends think.
If you're gonna do it, you have to be
like full in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, totally.
You can't make excuses for it. I was saying like I did the Hooters girl thing, and then I was like, oh, you know, I did it because like I needed extra money, and my boyfriend cheated on me. I'm like, no, I want to be a Hooters girl. I thought it was hot. It was fun.
Also, it is
a good time, and I got to travel the world.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up in St. Thomas anyway. So I broke up with that boyfriend. I sold my shares, and then Hooters was like, hey, we have a St. Thomas. We need like a house mom, basically, because they were bringing people in from the States because they weren't able to get enough people to work that were on the island. So they'd bring like 18-year-old girls from Kentucky who had never seen an island before. And they were not lasting for 24 hours because they were like balls to the wall.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
So they needed someone to be like, kind of like house. So I did that. And then I was only supposed to be there for a couple months, and I ended up being there for like almost 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Did you love it?
I did. And then I moved to Miami, and I had even more time of my life.
Wait, still working for Hooters?
Yeah, I ended up doing marketing for them. And then I got to like, and then they were like, hey, we need this little arm of the business where we're doing more community work. And so I got to work with like nonprofits and for-profits, basically just where do you put the money, which landed me like on the field of Miami Dolphins. And like, I got to hang out at the, you know, at all the games of the Heat. And that's when the Heat was having like the three-peat like season.
Yeah.
And so I was going to like everywhere, and I was like, I was just a normal person, not famous, no Instagram, nothing, but like, they knew me because they were the partnerships we had.
Yeah.
So I got all the crazy tickets, and I still got to be like a normie, which was the coolest thing because I did a lot of stupid shit, and that's so not on the internet.
I was like, thank the heavens above.
Yeah.
That in my 20s,
there was no internet.
There was internet, but there was no Instagram.
That's right. That's Instagram. No Instagram.
Yeah, I thank the heavens above.
Or that we just weren't inclined to share. Because like we had MySpace and stuff, but I wasn't inclined to share all those things.
No.
Like I wasn't like, I was on Instagram, but I wasn't like, oh, I want everyone to see that I'm hanging out with like, you know, LeBron's back in the whatever. Like I never like did any of that. So,
but
you know
MySpace was more like for thoughts. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? Then Facebook was like because I just
Twitter,
have to put a thought on, or like whatever they used to be
which
called.
Which is why
your
Twitter.
Wall, post on your wall. Did you see what Taryn wrote on her wall?
Yeah, or like your 5 favorite friends on MySpace. You know, that was like
Tom was one of them.
Tom was always one.
Tom was always one. He was my first friend.
Oh,
yeah.
He was
always like the sub tweets and the quotes. And you're like, I'm just feeling very nostalgic today, and like some like random quote that people were like, oh, I wonder what she means by that.
It still comes up, the memories on Facebook. Like it was, it was like 14 years ago. You said something really dumb and emo.
You were like super passive aggressive against your ex.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
Thanks, Facebook. Now they call them memes, you know?
Yeah.
And you're like, man, that's not as fun.
Yeah, now they're just quotes that you just post in your story.
That other people do. You know, you're like, what happens?
Passive aggressive quotes. Yeah. All inspirational ones that really hit. You know I'm talking.
You know who you are.
Who
you are.
Everyone's like, oh God, is she mad at me?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's so funny. I used to do that. I don't do any of that shit.
Honestly. No.
I'm too grown.
Well, now you're pregnant, so that's all you're going to be talking about now.
Now you've entered a new course.
How am I going to follow you? It's going to be so exhausting.
Oh my God, it's so annoying.
I might have to follow you too.
Yeah, like it's so funny.
Your pregnancy post was fucking hilarious too.
Know.
You were very silly.
Oh, wow! You
I'm just gonna start talking shit about how it is.
That's great.
Yeah, she was like,
but also I don't want to feel bad about it, so just unfollow me.
Yeah,
just be fun.
Yeah, just unfollow me, everybody.
Fun, you're gonna be a hilarious pregnant.
I will say, like there was that one. Maybe I don't know. She didn't say that. There was this one ex that like I had like an affinity towards. Like in my life, we had like basically a summer rendezvous.
Ooh.
And we still think about it. And I saw him just before I found out I was pregnant again.
Yeah,
it was like one of those like maybe like long lost loves, you know. So I saw him just before I found out I was pregnant with River, and we were supposed to like hang out because I was like on a break with my boyfriend at the time.
Oh.
And like we were supposed to have that one night, and we just never did. I didn't go home, and then like 2 weeks later I found out I was pregnant. And so anyway, he unfollowed me, and that hurt my feelings.
Are you married?
No.
Boyfriend?
Yes.
Well, long term?
Well, yeah. We've been together for 5 years now.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, marriage isn't in my cards.
Yeah, listen, I didn't do it up until we were together for
10 years.
Yeah, I mean, we did it like the last like year and a half.
I fought with it back and forth, and there's like just it doesn't go with my flow, bro.
I get it.
I just don't. Not that, again, it's not like, I think there's people out there that are like, hey, it's a universally religious or cultural thing. I just don't. It doesn't speak the same to me.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, because now that I'm pregnant with somebody I'm dating, they're like, oh, are you guys going to get married? I'm like, I'm not rushing. He doesn't even live with me yet.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not rushing shit.
Yeah.
I'm already having a child with somebody that I've only been dating for not even a year yet.
Yeah. Well,
So,
I was only
chill.
about 2 years in.
Yeah.
When we dated, we weren't together at the time I found out.
Oh,
So-
Jesus.
I went home. I was like a manic mess, crying on the internet about
Yeah,
my
you're like,
life.
I was supposed to fuck my ex. I was supposed to get back together with the love of my
What's
life.
happening? And then like he called.
Instead of the meme, here's this.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Yeah, he called me and he was like, "Hey, how about we just go have dinner and like talk about stuff?" And then we went to dinner and we talked about stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe we can make this work." And then a week later, I'm like, "I'm having your baby."
Knock, knock. Who's there? You're a dad.
Yeah.
And I guess we should stay together.
But it worked
now.
out. We were like, we're besties now, and it's great. But like, it's funny because people will ask like, your husband, like he'll say it like out of feeling, I think, weird. But I'm like, that's my baby daddy.
That's my baby daddy.
My partner.
Yeah.
He hates
Yeah.
partner for
Yeah.
some reason.
Because it makes it sound like gay.
But
like you're a gay
Is
Is
that- is
that what
It's
it
my
is? You
partner.
think?
You should start
I
calling him your
think a lot
lesbian
of
lover.
People think partner like for some reason is just a
lesbian
or a gay
term.
gay term.
I don't know.
No.
I think I mean,
I don't take it that way.
I don't take it that way either.
I don't take it
but
that way
I think
either.
Some
I think some people do. Yeah.
yeah, no, I
Well,
maybe-
because if some girl's like, oh, my partner, you don't think, you're like, oh, it's probably a girl.
Yeah.
But I mean, who
But
cares if it
sometimes-
is?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
I'll
I
even
know.
say like
Honestly, I
someone's
kinda
"What
like
do you
the
do tonight?"
I
I go,
kinda like the
I have a date with
mystery.
my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Oh, I say that all the time.
I say it all the time. Like I
Right.
have a date with my girlfriend.
Right.
It's
I
my
say it all the time
girlfriend.
too,
I'm
because
going on a
that's the
date.
era we're from. My girlfriend
Yeah.
is my girlfriend.
Yeah.
My
My
girlfriend.
friend that's a girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
think what you want.
Yeah.
Also, who cares?
Yeah, I know, who
We
cares?
don't care.
Does
We
that
don't.
bother you
No.
if I look vag and had one come out of my vag? That's not your problem.
Yeah.
Who cares what I say?
0%.
Literally. I'm not trying to eat your vagina.
Yeah, absolutely.
lady.
You're not
Sir,
my
lady.
type. Okay.
Sir,
You're
lady.
not my
Them,
type.
he,
And
hey.
babe.
Fuck off. My pronouns are fuck and off.
Can I ask? I want to know your whole story about like Cavaliri.
Oh my
very
God. I don't ever talk about that.
Cavalari.
That's like not part of my wheelhouse anymore.
I know, but you
It's
still
such a weird part of my life.
You
It was a
work
whirlwind.
The show or Uncommon James?
you work
Oh,
for
the show.
Uncommon James.
Oh, okay,
though,
but you
no?
still work for
Yeah, I
Uncommon
still work
James.
for Uncommon James.
Yeah,
and
so
I-
that's
yes.
But that's how it started. No.
It kind of started together. So it's funny, so I worked at Bar Taco at the time.
Okay.
Because
So
I came
good.
to Nashville, literally came to Nashville, and I had my mentor passed away in Miami.
I'm so
and I had this
sorry.
Eat, Pray, Love moment. Oh, it was great because it was one of those moments of like, should I get off the pot for me of like where I was going to go in life.
Okay.
I went to Bali and did this
Wow,
whole like
you're
spiritual
life,
thing
Brittany.
for a couple
cool,
weeks. Yeah.
man. Yeah, you're way more
Yeah.
badass than I am.
I went to
Wow.
Bali. I walked up. I hung out with like locals. Like I have like pictures of me like just like randomly getting on motorcycles with locals. Like I don't know what the fuck I was thinking.
Doing a little ashwagandha?
No, didn't do any of
Ayahuasca.
that.
Oh, I love ayahuasca.
I just did it full sober. Just
Did you meet ashwagandha?
had a full sober like yoga retreat to myself. Like nobody around.
Ashwagandha.
Ayahuasca.
Ayahuasca.
I would love to do that.
ayahuasca.
That's my next thing.
Same.
I think. I want to
Same.
go do it.
There's
Cool.
a
Let's do it on the podcast.
There's a
Yeah.
shaman in Kentucky.
What?
There's a whole
Is it legal?
yes. So you don't have to go to like Thailand or we don't have to go any. there-
cooler
I mean,
than
but
Kentucky
I
with
feel
their-
because
I've done
that's
some
how I did with
research.
mushrooms though. Like my first mushrooms were in St. Thomas. I feel like though, like
It should be.
I just want the vibe.
In
Yeah.
a tropical, cool
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see what it looks
Like
like.
if a tiger's not gonna eat me, then I don't know that I want to do that.
I don't
You know what
want.
mean?
I
Like,
don't want a tiger anywhere
like to be
around me
vulnerable. I would
while
like-
I'm on ashwagandha.
Ashwagandha.
You know, right?
I don't want to know.
I just want to be with
is
the
that a
spirits of the
tiger?
forest.
So do I in Kentucky, an hour away from home, with no tigers.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
fair.
cicadas.
fair. But anyway, yeah. So when I did all that, I met a priest, a Hindu priest. We walked up these stairs at this temple, and it was like he showed me. It was a crazy thing. He started drawing what looks like the swastika, but he said this is the original Hindu symbol. It's flipped, I think. But he
Okay.
was like, when you see it, you see a symbol of evil. And I said, yeah. And he said, but it wasn't originally a symbol of evil. This was a symbol of hope. It's the mother church and the churches that go around. And he explains hinted to me. And he said, so you see, what once was meant as medicine or as good could be poison to you, meaning that the environment I was in was now poisoned.
Copy
And
that.
so it's time to move on. Time to go, time to shut the door and move on.
Go.
That's insight.
And I was like, heard. And then literally I got home and my girlfriend's like, I'm moving to Nashville. And she was a makeup artist. She moved back to Kentucky, but she was in Kentucky at the time. And I was like,
that's where you guys were. That's where are you
I'm originally from Philly, but
okay.
through Hooters, I knew Kimberly. And so she was like, I'm going to come to Nashville. And I was like, perfect, I'll go. And I literally, like, October, we visited. November, she found the place. And Christmas Day, I drove from Miami to Nashville, spent Christmas by myself, ate Chinese food,
girl.
went and
That's
got
what they do on
did
Christmas, yeah.
did the whole thing, wrote a letter to myself about like how it was going to go. And so I basically came with nothing. And then I moved to, I got a job at Bar Taco, and I was working in
taco right now.
Yeah.
I had it for my baby shower. It was great.
It's kind of like my story a little bit. You came in on,
Yeah, it's just a world, like how life
Yeah,
just kind of finds a way.
Yeah.
And so I was working in events and stuff, and Mark Block was good
Whoa.
friends. Yeah. I was a Block girl for a while, and he came to lunch with Kristin, modeling, and he came to lunch with Kristin, introduced us, and he was just talking about certain things, like, oh, like if you need help with this, Brittany knows this. Like he was like really cool about it. And then a couple weeks later, he was like, hey, she's actually doing a show, but she does need people to work for her for real. So you're going to do two things. You're going to interview for the show with the casting people, and then you're going to go to a coffee shop and you're going to interview with Kristin. So bring your resume. So technically both.
Okay.
They were hired at the same time, but I made that decision in my mind that like I was not very good on reality TV. I know I was boring because I was hiding myself. I didn't want to be, I don't know. I felt like I couldn't play the role.
Yeah, I get that.
So, which was fine because it ended up being now here I am 7 years later still working for Uncommon James.
Yeah.
And having that job and that stability, and that's where I was going. And so, and now even if I move on or whatever we choose to do from here, like I have Kristin in that experience in my background, but very Cavaliri, like the show was such like a mind fuck.
Wasn't for
I was
you.
just,
Wasn't for
I was
you.
dating the wrong person at the time.
I remember that.
That was really hard.
Yeah.
And we had like a really bad breakup. We're cool now, but that was tough. And then also like the person, like some of the girls that I was on the show with, we ended up not getting along. Again, that's all kind of fixed and forward.
And it was so long ago. Who cares? You know,
yeah,
like you just,
but at the
some
time
point
it
you
was
just go,
like
whatever.
I was so scared to lose what felt like a new lifeblood because I had nothing.
Yeah.
And so I was like, they're like, here's money for the show and here's your salary for this. And so I was getting all of these like finally having money and finally being able to do, so I was so scared to lose it all.
Yeah.
And it made me not a nice person to a lot of people.
That's something
because I was
cool to admit or be aware of that.
Because I think when people think like you go through shit, like when things happen to you, it's fight, flight, or freeze. But I think there's also like masking. Like I masked a lot of stuff.
For sure.
Because I was scared.
And then you project a different part of you that's
right.
not.
Yeah.
Right. And I even look back, I was 117 pounds. I was like stress skinny, like too skinny. I was like so focused on myself, like, and not that people who take selfies are bad. I just remember like I took a lot of pictures of myself to prove to myself that I was beautiful enough and good enough and smart enough and fuck the world, you know?
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I am. Like, who cares if I'm not enough for anybody else? Like, I'm enough for myself. But it took, 7 years to get there?
Yeah.
That's okay. You got there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the most important part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm glad you still have a great relationship with Kristin.
Yeah. Thankfully. Yeah.
Funny.
She's funny as shit. And
She's got
awesome.
a great podcast.
Yeah.
She's got a great podcast.
Have you guys done one too? I feel like you guys would end up being really great together. Or even Justin. Has Justin come on here?
He had to wait.
But he's coming
for a contract to he'll be on soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Who's this?
Justin Anderson. You'll love him.
I feel like the energy.
Control.
Yeah, he is like the most high energy. Like the vibration in the room just changes. Like he is an angel.
You'll love him, and then you guys will start working out together.
Yeah.
Oh, just he love to work out. He's gonna be my soul, bro.
He pumps. He pumps, bro.
Yeah, but he's also
him and
like
his husband are so funny. And
they're also like the women empowerment gays. Like they're the friends that you want in your like
not the catty
love
shitty.
You. No, they love you.
I do know what you mean.
Yeah, they love you. They want the best for you. They always think about you. Like Justin and I aren't like close. He's close with Kristin, but because we're all kind and nice to each other, like he'll write me just like, hey, you're a great mom. Like he'll like Malia had his startup baby, and like he was like, oh, you guys have beautiful babies, or he's just so good and genuine. Like,
he's
important to have people.
The world will lose an angel if and when that man goes.
He loves hard, and he gives you. And we were just talking about people who listen. Actions speak louder than fucking words.
Reciprocity.
Period. Like showing up for people that you love, that you truly care about, and saying those things are everything.
Yeah, it's more. It's better than sending a gift or whatever.
Yeah.
It's being
things like that. It's being present and being there for the people that you love, instead of just like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Totally. I was just gonna say, I think it everybody is still, I think we're moving out of it, but I think a lot of people are really too concerned of how cool they look that they would rather. Like if there's a path of like being cool or supporting a friend, they choose the being cool thing.
Yeah.
And not everybody does, but it's frustrating. And like starting a small business essentially is what this is you like see how strangers support you more sometimes than people that you're like, I thought you were one of my best friends. This is interesting.
Okay. Yeah. Because it becomes transactional. That's what I found out. And that was kind of what changed me out. Just once Brittainy Cavaliri ended, there was a whole group of friends that disappeared. And I was like, oh shit.
Ew.
Why do you?
Just because it wasn't like, I don't know, maybe because I couldn't get as many people to follow if I didn't tag you. I can't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
It just was like,
weird.
They're not in, I mean, we live in, Nashville is like, good old boy city, like the first, when you get a number one, like you're God, or it was like that for a while. I remember like the first person you never number one was like the cool person, or like if you were the hairstylist or the makeup artist for the top of the top, and like everybody wanted to be your friend.
Sure.
And if you started to change that went away. And so I watched that. I mean, I literally was invited to every single event. I'm not invited to anything now.
Yeah.
I mean, but like it's totally fine. I don't want to go to those things. It gave me anxiety to go to them in the first place.
I understand that. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
I was up there for a little bit and then the more I kind of just go, ooh, I'm still working, but I'm not.
I don't need the approval.
Being the best.
I don't care about being the best.
I
don't care about, but it's gotten me to a whole different place. And now it's making me a little bit more irrelevant.
Yeah.
I feel, because I don't care. It's not a priority.
But also,
for
it's not
me.
that you don't care. It's that you're not holding. So someone told me this one time that when you get to a certain place in your life, whether it's in your profession or in your knowledge, like, for me, it's been motherhood, but it's like you lose the competition. Mm-hmm. You're fucking great. You guys are both have done amazing people, and you know your talent. It's good. And you're seeing like maybe younger people come into the industry that need help, or like, and people are either mean to them or snarking them, and you're like, you know what, come on the podcast. Let's I've reached this level of knowledge and success, and now I just want everybody to feel encompassed by it. Is so much better than the person who maybe is the top of the game and doesn't allow anybody in because they're that cool. Like the person who won't tag a friend's business because it would hurt. I don't know. They would hurt their algorithm. I have no idea.
Absolutely. You just ding, 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 ding.
I don't post unless somebody pays me, and you're like, why? Who fucking cares? It's your best friend. Just post for them. What does that do for you?
Amen, sister.
But I think it takes there's like something that clicks, whether it's age or like
growth
some level.
and age.
I think it's growth and age.
Yeah, it's all of that. Your priorities are different, and you can sit back and go, wait a minute, like I need to. Like I'm responsible for my happiness, and I want to make me happy first. Like I'm the most important, and what comes with that? Like what makes me happy? Yeah. What makes me the happiest?
Right.
Yeah.
Also, you're in no competition. The only time you have is your own.
Zero.
Yes. Right? Like whether or not you do great in life, I want that for you. But that doesn't mean anything for me. You know what I mean?
Like change anything.
We support literally everybody in our industry.
Yeah.
We're not here to knock anybody.
Yeah.
Like I don't ever look at somebody else and I'm like, oh, like look at there's nothing negative that will come out of my mouth about you or
unless you do something to me.
Yeah.
At work, we're gonna have a conversation.
Then I'll knife you in public. quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll tell you to your face now. I used to be like, just kind of silent about.
Yeah.
My baby shower and I got in a fight with my best friend. We were still friends. Nothing wrong.
Oh, rent a
best friend. I did. Yeah, rent a best friend.
You're out. I got
you're out.
but we got into this little argument. She was like, I just feel. We had this conversation. She was like, I feel attacked. I said, homegirl, we have been best friends forever. If I have an issue, I'm going to come to you. I might be a little pregnant and a little more emotional, and so it may come out a little whatever, but I'm never going to, I would rather tell you now how I feel and let's work through it than like you hear it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
And if you can't handle that friendship, that's a friendship we can't have.
And that takes a lot of work to get there. That's not something that's like, just unless you're innately just like that.
Yeah.
Because
you're afraid of losing
it's so
everything.
hard to
That's what Brittainy Cavaliri
truth.
was for me. I was afraid of losing everything. So I was
because
just
you
like,
people please.
let me
So
just
it's easier to be avoidant and do that whole thing. But at the end of the day, the three of us, we're all coasters. She's in LA, you're in Philly, I'm in New York. So we have that in us. So it's going to be a little bit easier because we've been around that kind of energy more and we're getting older. So now we're like, it clicks where we can do that.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy thing to go, hey, let's just sit down for 5-10 minutes and let's hash this out real quick. I'm going to come from
do we need to talk about something?
Come from a place of love.
To hash out? Yeah.
Of love, because I don't want it to. I don't want to walk on eggshells.
Right.
I'm not walking on eggshells.
Also, if it doesn't go anywhere that it feels good, we can both leave amicably.
Beautiful.
Like there doesn't need to be this big split.
Yeah.
There doesn't need to be like this like Instagram breakup where we're like talking shit about each other.
No.
We can just be like, cool.
Correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
You do you go in your boat, I'll go in mine.
Yeah.
We'll swim down the river differently.
Yeah.
And it's up to you how you respond to how I make you feel.
Right.
Exactly.
Like,
and how you treat me has nothing to do with me. I've done nothing to initially. I don't do anything to hurt you. So if you're going to treat me like shit, that's a you thing.
That's
not anything. I'm not holding on to that.
Yeah, that's a tough lesson to learn.
Especially if you're a people pleaser.
Yeah.
Because the whole time I'd be like, what did I do? Can I be your friend? Why are you mad? Are you mad at me? Was like my number one.
I know.
Are you mad at me? I'm so sorry. Blah blah blah. That's not what I meant. And I'm like, I know what I meant. I meant what I said. I didn't mean any harm by it. And you're taking it this way.
God, it's so freeing, isn't it?
Yeah. It is to just go like, because sometimes I'll start like, oh my God, wait, did I say something? And then I just go, I'm just going to let it go. If I have to just trust if like somebody has a problem with me that they'll say it. If not, like I don't know.
Not a mind reader.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Like I just got to let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like just try to like,
course.
I'll catch myself and then I just go, I'm just going to let it go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let it go.
Let it go.
Also, you said something so Philly before. What was it? You were like, October.
Did I say?
October.
Did I say it? Really?
We're in Philly.
I've really tried to get rid of my accent. Like, I don't say water.
That came out so much.
October. Did I really?
Yeah, I love October. Halloween.
Wait, what's the Philly accent? Do like something.
I mean, water. Like
water. Yeah, you water.
Yeah.
I water, but
how
it's
do
a different.
I say October? Did I say? No,
You
I
said
didn't say it like
October.
that.
I didn't even notice
October.
October.
It's like a certain Philly.
Oh, we're gonna have to get that clip because I can't. I don't remember how I said it.
Okay, we'll go back
on the spot. I can't do it.
Okay,
so
I know
funny.
exactly where it is.
When I'm mad, it comes out. Like,
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, what
Just
is
like
it?
that
Do you
flighty-
Fuck that girl in
It's just-
October. You liked her photo in October. That's funny. When I'm mad,
Do you like October better or November?
yeah, I was for this water in your face.
Water.
Call us when you get mad, please, so
the
we
Eagles,
can.
you know.
Yeah, so
Plug in the Eagles
yeah,
and
we can like hear
I
your
love
Philly.
Philly.
Yeah.
Philly's
Philly's
dope.
funny. Will you tell everybody where they can find your podcast?
Oh,
please?
Truth Moms Pod.
What is it?
Truth Moms Pod. So actually, my girlfriend, my Courtney, who's she came up with it because she was, real moms dropping truth bombs. So it was Truth Moms Pod, and then just follow us there and
listen, watch,
follow,
subscribe.
Even if you're not a mom, I want to make it more. Speaking of which, we talked about this when you start a podcast and you have an idea. It originally was like, let's talk about motherhood. Then I was like, wait a minute, man. There's a lot of things that you don't know. If you want to become a mom, or if you're looking in that realm of being a parent in general, there's a lot of shit that you just don't know until you become that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So like, what if we just like talked about health and wellness and stuff like that people can buy into, and then if and when that life cycle happens, they're like, man, I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
Instead of having to go find it, because it gets overwhelming when you're like, oh shit, there's so many things that until I became.
I did it. Overwhelming.
I heard it.
I've been trying to.
October could be pretty overwhelming.
So drink your water.
me go get it.
Ham. You get ham.
Man, I tried to lose that accent for 20 some years.
It's so specific.
God damn it.
That's really funny.
You know?
Oh my God. Everyone follow Brittainy Taylor.
Can we come on your podcast?
over.
Oh my God.
I'm a mom. She's going to be a mom. Come on over.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you have guests?
Yeah, we'll do a
I
Chris
have guests all
Saber.
the time.
Oh, great.
Do a Chris Saber.
I will be on your
In
a guest
October.
on your podcast while I'm going through labor, so everybody can see my
We
sphincter.
can do a live stream.
Yeah.
We'll do live stream. We're going to get a rent-a-mom.
Yes.
We're going to get a Oblongata.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Perfect. Thank you
Yes.
so much for coming.
I
This
know.
is great.
What a fun
fun, right?
episode.
Go girls.
Yeah.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. See you later. Bye.